If you think your relationship with your boss or your employer sucks right now, imagine when your boss or employer can actually give you tasks and stuff like that through an AI tool. And it's going to kill your ability to basically get favorable terms for you, because it's all about going to be who's the most efficient or who gets the job done and the numbers when AI comes through. Hello, everyone. Thank you for joining me. This is another episode of New Day, Same B.S. My name is CT, and for this episode, I wanted to take a quick dive. I guess everybody's talking about it now. It's basically the next technological wave, but I just wanted to take a look at an angle of AI, which is artificial intelligence, that I don't hear a lot of people talking about, but I think it's actually interesting. Actually, I did have an experience and I wanted to just share the story and just give a little context of what I kind of think, and I think that is interesting about the next phase for AI. So basically, recently I was trying to contact Google support. Well, this is YouTube mainly, but trying to get to Google support. While trying to reach them, I had the option to go on live chat. So I said, okay, this might be a good idea to get on live chat and reach out to someone. And while trying to do this, there were a few things that I observed that was very interesting to me. First of all, the interesting thing is I was connected to live chat and I thought I was going to talk to somebody, but obviously it turned out to be an AI live chat bot. And the interesting thing to me is the great length and effort Google had to put in to make me think that it was an actual person that I actually was talking to. And I'm going to point those out and the reasons why I'm pretty sure it was an AI and the consequences of exactly what happened in that scenario. So while trying to reach out to them, the first thing that happened is I was put on a queue, and I think I was about like the 17th person on the queue. So I was like, okay, if I'm going to be put on a queue, that means I'm going to talk to an actual agent, right? And then after about an hour of that happening, it turned out that I actually missed that live chat and it ended, right? Like, is somebody there? No, I was already busy with something else. Then I tried again, and it took me another hour to get through after being put on a queue. And now I was going to talk or kind of chat with Joshua, which was supposed to be the person to help me out. And this is where things got interesting, because the moment I started the live chat, it was very quick for me to realize that I was actually talking to an AI. How did I know this? There are a few things. The moment I type in something, it takes less than a second for me to get a paragraph of pre-written templates. And I was like, okay, so you can talk to an actual agent, right? And it's actually basically that they're using a template. And while I kept trying to get information about what I was chatting about, it was even quicker before I could even hit enter. And I was getting replies back as well. And I thought that was interesting because everything was set out to make me believe that I was chatting with a real agent, right? And then at the end of me inquiring about getting information from Google, I kind of was still told that it couldn't assist me, right? And it had to refer me to an email support where I had to actually send another full inquiry basically to the email support to get the resolution that I wanted. And this was kind of interesting for me, which takes me to a point about the future of AI in everything that we do, right? And it was kind of interesting because the reason I wanted to bring this up is that there were a few things that were done that actually got on me. In my opinion, Google does not have to make me feel warm, welcome, or nice. I'm hooked. They got me. Like, it's Google. Like, there's nothing really to sell. You got Google, you got YouTube, you got, and all that. You got me, right? So there's nothing really you're selling to me. I was going to be patient or whatever you ask me, or however you ask me to get my support, I was going to do it. But the idea that a company like Google will go out of their way to replicate real conversation or real life chat through an AI shows you the next level of what these big companies or these AI companies are actually trying to do with us, with everybody when it comes to AI. And I think it's pretty interesting because another thing that I'm not happy with Google is the fact that if you're putting your stuff on Google services like YouTube, you're required, if you use AI, to indicate that it's AI. They did not do that. In fact, they went all the way to name a bot a human name, Joshua, to make me feel like it was AI. Now I can tell the difference between AI and a real person because I actually know how these algorithms work. But it was also interesting to me that there were a lot of things that happened emotionally throughout that conversation that was kind of very interesting to me, right? During that conversation, emotionally, they did get me, right? Because first of all, after the end of that, I kind of asked myself that they wasted 2 hours of my time. First of all, for you to make it look real, you had to actually put me on a queue. A real AI doesn't have to put me on a queue. I know it's AI, so for you to actually do that, you had to name it Joshua, make it a human name, and you obviously could not answer a question that is not pre-selected. So I know it is definitely, but you went all through that to basically waste 2 hours of my time just to convince me that I might be talking to a real person. And it's going to be interesting how AI evolves when these companies try to do a lot to make people comfortable because they know people want real interactions with an actual person, but they want to simulate and kind of find ways to emotionally make you feel that way, even when it's going to be an actual AI. So, in my opinion, it's something we're going to be transitioning to. You're going to be seeing it in different areas of your life. You wouldn't even know it's happening, but even the biggest companies are doing it. And one very interesting area that I wanted to point out about the future of this kind of technology is for people that have issues with their employers and their bosses and stuff like that. It's going to be a very interesting time because if you think your relationship with your boss or your employer sucks right now, imagine when your boss or employer can actually give you tasks and stuff like that through an AI tool. So now the whole personal interaction and the one-on-one that you can use to communicate and kind of not feel like you're being in a box, it's not going to be there anymore. Basically, they're going to be giving out instructions through AI, and it's going to kill your ability to basically get favorable terms for you because it's all about going to be who's the most efficient or who gets the job done and the numbers when AI comes through. And what I mean by that is a lot of people feel that their bosses are mean, harsh, and they're not enjoying their workplace. And this is with you having to face that boss on a consistent basis where they get to see them and they get to actually care about your struggles and your pain. Very soon, that would not matter. They will just leave instructions, goals, set terms. And if you think it sucks to work for a human boss, wait till you actually work for an AI boss because it's all about what has been instructed or the instructions is given, and it's going to be determining and kind of making decisions based on strict rules. There's no human connection to adjust those rules. That's going to be a thing. If you are going to be in that situation, that's going to be a whole different emotion that you would have to deal with, which is you're going to get mad. You're going to feel some type of way. You're going to feel like what's giving you the instructions or what you need to do your job properly is not being sensitive, but it's just a human being on the other side and they don't have the time to actually feel or understand what you're saying apart from the instructions that has been given to you. So it's going to be interesting. AI is coming up. If you're not using AI and you have depend on AI or get given instructions by AI, it's going to be a very interesting time, in my opinion. You better brace up, get your emotions in check because basically your bosses are going to be AI indirectly, a human using an AI. That's where I'm going to stop for now. Thanks if you got all the way to the end of this video. Don't forget to subscribe on YouTube and follow on social media pages. Peace.